One of the main reasons why people struggle to recover from an ankle sprain or end up spraining it repetitively is because they don't take enough time to work on the control around the joint. Now, one of the easiest ways to do that is by using a balance board. These are really easy to find. I got this one off of Amazon for less than £10, and they give you quite a few options. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you what you're looking for in a balance board. Also, demonstrate 5 different exercises which are progressions on each other. And then I'll also give you tips on, if you find it very difficult, how to make it easier, or if you find it too easy, how you can make it more difficult. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Maryke. I'm one of the physiotherapists from sportsinjuryphysio.com, where you can get online physiotherapy assessment as well as treatment for your injuries. Have a look at the description of this video if you want a link to our website. Okay, so how do you decide what balance board is right for you? Because if you go on Amazon, you'll see that there are plenty of different options. Well, the first thing is that it should allow both your feet to be supported on it. And your feet must be pretty much fully supported. Then, second is you should be getting your feet should be able to be nearly hip distance apart. It doesn't have to be perfectly hip distance apart, because I don't think there are many boards that's that wide. But at least they shouldn't be really close together. Then, if we think of the dome, if you can see this, we want a dome that allows movement into all directions. Now, you get ones that just tilts forwards or backwards, and then you also get ones that tilt side to side. But this one that has a round dome will go into all directions, and that's what we want, because when you're walking outside, your ankle should be able to support and control your movement into all directions, not just forwards and backwards and side to side. Then lastly, look at the angle of the dome, or how pointy it is, because the flatter it is, the easier it is to balance on. If it's really pointy, it's going to be really hard to balance on. Now, if you've already bought one and it is pretty pointy or really difficult to balance on, place it on either a folded towel or a very soft carpet, or even a cushion if you have to at the beginning. Anything soft like that will kind of absorb the dome or that pointy bit and make it slightly easier to balance on. Also, do use a hand on the wall at the beginning when you're struggling, but I'll talk about that more when I demonstrate the exercises. And then as you get better, you just reduce the amount of pressure you put on the wall. I've also added links in the description of this video that you can find on Amazon, some examples of boards that I think are quite useful for ankle sprains. I think it's always useful to point out some common mistakes people make when they do exercises. So for balance boards, the first mistake people make is that they jump on a balance board before they can actually balance on the floor. Now, if you're not able to balance and keep your balance on your one leg on a stable surface like the floor, then it's not time to get onto an unstable surface like a balance board. So you have to work on those simple balancing exercises first. Now, I think that's worth a whole new video. So I will make a different video that demonstrates regular balancing exercises, and you can find that link to that video in the description of this one. Now, the second mistake people make is that they start these exercises when their ankle joint is still very painful and doesn't have enough range of motion yet. So you need to be able to tilt your foot up and down and side to side with relative comfort and have nearly full range before you start them. And the reason for that is you'll see when we do the exercises, it takes it through the full range of motion, and it's hard work to keep it in the middle there. So if you do them too early in your rehab, you can actually make your injury feel worse. So the third mistake people make is that they focus too much on balancing and don't actually incorporate all the other types of exercises you need, like range of motion exercises, strength training exercises. They don't look at the rest of the body and how that can affect the ankle. Now, my colleague Steph has made a video where she discusses all of these exercises and also demonstrates some of them. So I'll put a link to that video in the description of this one for you. I'm going to demonstrate the exercises in order for you. So it means that you've got to master the first one first, then you can move on to the second, then the third, then the fourth, and so forth. But also, please check with your physiotherapist before you start any of the exercises, because it may be that actually they're not appropriate for you. Okay, so the first exercise is just simple balancing on 2 legs, keeping the board in the middle. You have to master this one before you move on to the others. Now, You'll notice I've placed a towel on the floor here. That's purely because I realized that my balance board is black and my mat is black and you won't be able to see it. But also, if you only have a tiled floor or a carpet or a really hard wooden floor, then balancing on that can be really, really hard. So find a soft surface to balance on rather, or place something on it to make it soft. A towel on a tiled floor is likely not ideal because it may slip, so you may want to find a different solution for that. Okay, so what we're going to do is I also have a chair close by, because at the beginning it's useful to have something to hold on to so that you can get onto the board, find your balance and then release your hand. The best place to do this is if you have a door in your apartment or your house where you can stand in the doorway and you have support on both sides. So have a look, where's the best place that you can actually find support if you're going to lose your balance. So what you're doing is you're placing a hand on for balance, you're placing one foot on the board, so it's tilted to one side, then bring the other one up, and now you bring it to the middle. Now, in this position, you'll notice my legs aren't straight. I'm actually keeping them slightly bent. And this is because it's easier to balance like that. It's really hard to balance with straight legs. So you're going to keep your balance, find that midpoint, tighten up your tummy muscles, it really helps, and just slowly let go. And that's where you want to try and keep it. Now, if you find it really hard, keep a finger on there and just work on it like that. But what you also want to look at is that you don't allow your knees to come together and that you don't allow your arches to roll in. So you want to just keep your feet in your normal position, not too far out either, but feel pressure under your big toe, your little toe and your heel. And that's where you want to balance. And you want to see if you can hold it for 30 seconds without going too wildly forwards, backwards or sideways. So if you're looking like this, it means you really need to be holding onto something to just help you at the start until you get better. So you want to hold it for 30 seconds, get off, rest a good 30 seconds to a minute actually, because it does tire your muscles, and then repeat it again. You're looking for 3 sets of 30 seconds before you move on to the next exercise. If you can only hold it for 10 seconds, that's fine. Just rest more in between and repeat them until you get to about 9 repetitions of 10 seconds, because that gets you 3 times 30, and then build that time out until you get to 30 seconds. Exercise number 2, we're now looking to see if you can control the movements into different directions. And the first one we're going to do is just slowly tilting the board forwards and bringing it back. Now, if you're going boom, boom, that means you don't have control. That's just falling into directions. So you want to tilt it really slowly forwards, back to the middle, and backwards and back to the middle. Where people make it difficult for themselves is they get on the board and immediately want to start moving. It really helps if you first feel your balance, get it solid in the middle, and then start moving. Okay, let's try that. So we're getting on, holding on, one foot on, other foot on, find your balance in the middle. Now you can let go. Now from there, we want to slowly tilt it forwards and slowly back to the middle, and then backwards and back to the middle. Now, if you're going plonk or like that, it's a bit too fast. Okay, and also if you're going round to get there, that doesn't really count. So you've got to be in straight lines forwards, straight line back, and straight line back, back to the middle. Now at the beginning, it can be really hard to do it without holding on. So have a finger, and as you get stronger and better control, you can start to remove that finger from the object you're using. You're looking to do about 3 sets of 10 of slow forwards, slow back. You do 1 set, you rest a minute, you do 3 sets in total. That rest period is really important because the more tired you get, the less likely you are to maintain, or more difficult it is to maintain your balance. The third exercise can actually be done simultaneously when you start the second one as well, because with this one, we're now going to look at moving it side to side. The only thing I will say is it is necessary for your ankle to be really comfortable going all the way to the side already. If it's not comfortable with that movement, because that's often the movement that happens when you sprain it, then it's not the right time to start it. You may have to wait a little bit. So for that, you are going to, again, hold on to whatever you're holding on to. Place one foot on the board, other foot on the board, and make sure they're placed where you want them and have them there. Remember, we're bending the knees slightly because that helps a little bit. And now, same thing, you let go with your hand when you're ready, and then we're slowly going to one side and come back to the middle and slowly going to the other side. And you can see I want to go in a semicircle. You should go straight lines. There we go. We're back to the middle and going to the side and whoops, regain control if you lose it, and back to the middle. Okay, and then once you're done, you get off. So again, we're looking for about 10 repetitions. Depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for endurance, you can build up to 20 repetitions even of this one and the previous one. But you're looking for 3 sets, and you're looking to rest at least a minute between your sets. Exercise number 4 gets a little bit more exciting, that we now go into multiple directions. So we're going to stand on the board, first balance in one place, slowly tilt it forwards, back to the middle, then diagonally to the front, back to the middle, and you continue that. Straight to the side, diagonally back, diagonal, straight, diagonal, and there. So let's look at what this looks like. Feet on there, get your balance first, make sure your feet are positioned well, and on we go. Then you let go of whatever you're holding on to, get your balance, and then we start. So we're going straight to the front and come back. Then over to the side in a straight line, or actually diagonal, and back. Then over to the side and back. And we're going diagonally back and middle and fully back and middle, diagonally back again and middle, sideways, middle, and diagonally front and middle and forwards and middle. Okay, and then you get off. Now, you want to look at doing that full circle, then get off, rest. Then after a minute, you repeat it the other way around so that your brain mixes things up a bit. And you do about 4 repetitions of this one. Also, remember, the slower you go, the harder work it is and the more control you gain. So it really helps not to rush this. Okay, so the final exercise I'm going to demonstrate is balancing on one leg. Now, it's obviously a lot harder than with 2 legs, so make sure that you can do the other ones first. Then also make sure that you place your foot absolutely in the middle of the board. If it's over to one side, it's going to be super hard and you're not really going to be able to balance. And you definitely need something to hold on to for this exercise. Okay, so what you want to do is place your foot right into the middle and get it dead center. Okay, then you place your weight over and remember to keep your knees slightly bent and slowly take your weight onto that leg. Okay, then in that position, let go of whatever you're using for stability. Now you can see that this is quite hard work for me and my ankle is twisting quite a bit. So I would probably have one finger on the wall at the moment or on the chair to help me balance a bit better. So you're looking to get to where you can do this exercise again for 30 seconds in one go before you go on to more challenging ones. But you want to train both legs. I know just one is likely injured, but make sure that you do it on both and make sure that you rest at least 1 minute, but even up to 2 minutes between tries. Now, I've demonstrated the absolute basic way that you do these balance board exercises for you, but you can make them a lot harder by adding in movements. Like for instance, if you're doing the double leg balance and you're just looking at one spot, that's much easier than if you start to move your head as well. Or try, once you're good with it, try and see if you can actually look up and down as well. That makes it even harder. But you only add these things in once you have really good balance, just balancing, looking straight ahead. Other things you can do is move your arms or even slowly twist your body side to side. Then when you get to single leg balancing on the balance board, you can even start moving your leg while you're balancing on one leg. But you have to be really, really good with the basic ones first. And then depending on your sport, your physio may even make them more difficult for you. So if you think of sports like netball, where you've got to catch a ball while you're actually balancing, or while your body is balancing and taking you through different angles, it may be that your physio makes you stand on a balance board, get your balance, and then throw a ball at you to catch and throw. That can be done on double legs or single legs, depending on your skill level. So there are plenty of ways to make these harder, but it all depends on what sport you do and if you actually need it. If you're just somebody who is walking, then you don't really need that. The basic stuff will be enough for you. Brilliant. Hope you found that useful. Now, remember, if you need more help with an injury, you're welcome to consult one of our team via video call. The link to the website is in the description of this video. Take care.